Hey, good evening, everyone. It is Rise and Win Coach Cynthia Newell of Dare to Dream Spiritual Life Coaching Practice, where I get the divine honor of supporting women visionaries with giving voice to their vision so that it has full expression in their life. I am just one who believes that we all deserve to wake up to a life that we love, one that we look forward to waking up to. And so I'm so honored that God has called me to the work of supporting women with releasing the internal struggles that arise whenever we are pursuing or building or manifesting, creating, reconstructing. There are a lot of internal conflicts that come up, especially if you're a mom, if you're a wife, if your family had a different plan for your life other than the one that you chose, if things are not going the way that you had hoped for them to go, and then all of the other, lovely moving parts of life, all of those things can sometimes muddy the waters of our mind, and we lose sight of our vision, we lose sight of our goals, and we become despondent, and we become disconnected. And so I find it a pleasure to teach women how to reconnect to their soul's calling so that they can walk in newness. So, in whatever platform I am coming to you on, whether it's in the Facebook group, Daring Daughters, or if it's through my virtual book club, or even my monthly teleseminars or webinars, my goal is to support you with clarifying your vision, and then making sure that your vision is not pushed to the back of the line. Because what I found for myself and for many of the clients that I have coached is we get lost in our life because we become last, in our lives. And so, it's our divine birthright to shine and to thrive and, to make sure that that vision that's burning inside of our heart is being expressed, because when it's not being expressed, man, I tell you, that's a painful place to be. You experience a lot of suffering. You can go to a place of feeling like a victim. Life won't let you have what it is that you desire. You can't win for losing. You start to feel cheated. You start to feel as though God doesn't hear your prayers. God is not listening, nor is God concerned about the matters on your heart. But the truth of the matter is, God put the desires in us to be a mom or to write a book or to have that loving, long-lasting, intimate relationship with the spouse, or to travel the world, or to return to school, whatever it is you're desiring to create in your life, you're wanting to customize your life to look like. God put that in you, and therefore you can have faith enough in God that the vision that God put in you is going to come forth. And so we don't have to wrestle with the fear of will it happen or will it happen for me. The very fact that God chose you to impregnate you with that vision is the very fact that it's going to come true for your life. But we get discouraged. We get discouraged by the challenges and the change in life that we try so hard to control, but we can't. And so because we can't control it, we go to this place of resistance, which is the opposite of acceptance. And resistance causes us to suffer. When we start to judge where we are in life and we compare ourselves to other people, we set ourselves up for a downward fall. And so I am here to support you with releasing those internal struggles effortlessly so that you can walk in the newness of life that God has shown you is yours. And I'm so excited to support you all here tonight on this live Q&A call. Normally on Thursdays, I'm in my Facebook group, Daring Daughters Facebook group, and I'm teaching a live lesson, to support the women with releasing those struggles that keep them stuck or keep them in this pattern of, not getting the results that they desire. But tonight God had put on my heart, and I had the idea of why not offer a live Q&A call for you ladies to see, for you to check in, to see where you're at, to get the support that you need so that you can move to the next level. And so that's what I'm doing tonight. I want to just provide a space where you can pick my brain. I have certainly had my share of experiences that have led me to a place of fortitude and strength and stamina, and not to say that I don't have much more growing to do, but for any of you that have been following me for quite some time, you have heard my story of resilience. God had given me a vision for Dare to Dream and empowering women locally and globally over almost 10 years ago. And when that vision came, I was so excited. I was so excited. I had just written my first book, Ode to Tell the Story, Chronicles of an Afro-American Woman. It's a collection of poetry, and I had the vision. I was ready. I was already hosting, women circle meetings where we would empower each other. We would talk through the challenges that we were facing in our lives, whether it was in our relationships with our husbands, our parents, our siblings, our children, and every woman would leave, feeling inspired and encouraged about their life. And I was also hosting my life-changing, transformational vision board retreats where women would come and, create an image of the vision that they have for their life, something that they could connect to and visually connect to, in their mind. And so I had those things going, and I was excited about the elevation, that was getting ready to take place in my life and with my business, and so much so that I had left a job at a Fortune 100 company where I was making, a nice salary. It was 5 figures, but it was nice for a single mom who was divorced, raising 2 teenage daughters on her own. I had saved up quite a bit of money, and I was doing okay for myself. And as I began to work full-time in Dare to Dream, I started facing challenges where, people were no longer signing up for things, and I would do all of this hard work promoting events and putting things together, and no one would show up. And so I got discouraged. I got really discouraged, and I remember crying to God and saying, I feel stupid. You gave me this vision, and I'm doing the work that I feel like you're telling me to do, but things are not going off in the way that you showed me that they would. And I handed God back the gift. I said, no, I don't want this vision. You can have it back. And I was just very upset, but the vision wouldn't let go of me. And so I kept going forward, in between jobs, working, still discouraged. It was hard to create. It was hard to manifest, but I still kept going. And then as life continued on, I remarried, and in that marriage, we faced some hardships. We faced homelessness. We faced separation several times. We faced a lot of challenges in my second marriage. I also became the mom of a teen mom, and I was let go from a company unjustly, and then on top of that, diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer and giving birth to a child unexpectedly who was premature. The list goes on, so I had a lot of challenges in my life, but the vision wouldn't let me go. And as much as I wanted to let it go, God still wanted me to move forward. And so I had to work through all of those emotional barriers. I had to pull myself up out of the muck and the mire, and I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to be vulnerable with God. I didn't know how to be transparent with God. I just knew how to pretend and be what people wanted me to be. But in those experiences, God really taught me how to transform my life, how to set boundaries, how to rely on my spiritual support team. God's would speak to me through animals and dreams and visions. For those who don't know, I do dream interpretation because God has spoken to me in that way since a very young age. But God showed me how to create a life that I look forward to waking up to. And so that is my tag, but it's true. We often say that, but it's real truth, and it is possible. Doesn't mean that things will be perfect, but it does mean that you'll be able to function and thrive and still look forward and be excited about waking up despite, what you have going on in your life. And so I am very qualified to be here to answer your questions, to talk with you, and to support you. And so, if you want to connect with me or stay connected, be a part of my community, get my monthly e-letters, go to my website, www.cynthiasnewell.com. I have a free ebook that I'm giving away, which is Create Your Life, and it helps you with creating powerful intention statements. Intention is what drives attention, and where our attention goes, our energy and our effort flows, and then that's where we create. That's where we manifest. And so I'm excited to be here tonight. I think someone has joined the line, so I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to open up the floor for questions, and I will answer as many questions as you have for the next 60 minutes. Hey, who joined?
Hi, this is Linda, Cynthia.
Hi, Linda. How are you this evening?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. My coach, I have a business coach, and she often offers these pop-up Q&A calls, where she supports us with our businesses. So I said, I want to do something a little different tonight and offer a live Q&A call and support you all that way as opposed to doing the live. So what question or questions can I answer for you or be a support for you?
My question is, it seems like for me things have been like in a cycle, and I can't get past a certain point. It's like things are repeating itself, like I haven't learned a lesson or something. And I just want to know, how can I break the cycle?
Wow, that's a good question, and that's actually something that I recall saying to someone myself before. So let's talk about the cycle. Tell me about the cycle that you're experiencing. What do you see?
Let's see. Say, for instance, my job situation. I lost my job, and then when I get another job, it seems like in 4 or 5 years, I'm losing that one, and then I have to start all over again. So that that's kind of irritating for me.
Right. So how many times has this happened with your jobs?
I'm gonna say 3 or 4.
Okay. So what type of jobs were you doing?
I was working for a healthcare insurance company.
Okay.
I have worked I've always been in healthcare. So then I worked for a hospital in the cash posting area. I worked as a cash poster for a temporary agency. And so that was the 3 times.
Okay. So in those roles, what were you doing?
2 of the roles I was posting cash for the facility that the insurance company paid claims for patients, and so they would come through electronically, so I would make sure that they would go to the proper accounts. Mm-hmm. The other one was I worked as a provider relations coordinator, where physicians would be credentialed to with the insurance company. So they would call me, and I would make sure that all their credentials were correct in order to be on staff with the insurance company.
Mm-hmm. So would you say, you said it was around the same time frame, length of time that you were on the jobs before you were released?
Now, the first one, no, I was there maybe 15 years, I believe. Mm-hmm. It was a long time. And then the other one, 4 years. and then the last one was like 3 months.
Okay. So some interesting things like that come up to me to kind of chat with you about. The first thing is when you were doing those jobs, had you ever prayed or asked God for something different? Like deep down inside, did you have a different desire, but you were just doing the work to make ends meet, or
That's good.
so you can have a steady income?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you did have a desire to do something different, to be somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things that comes up for you is I remember the job that I was fired from unjustly. The way that they did it naturally, it was unjustly, but spiritually, I knew what was going on. So I worked at a law firm, and I've always been an excellent performer in whatever role I've worked in, but they said that I was underperforming. But prior to them firing me, I would envision, and I'm not saying that this is what you've done, but there's connection. I would envision myself with my box, being told that I was let go, and being happy and joyous because I would be able to now devote time to Dare to Dream. I enjoyed the income. I mean, it was nice money, but deep down inside, I felt like the job was getting in the way of what my true call and my true purpose was, and so we don't manifest based upon, like, life doesn't happen to us, it happens through us. And so I would say if that's been happening, you would really want to dig deep and see, what was I thinking? What was I asking God for? Was I at a point where I just did not want to work there, but I didn't want them to fire me. I wanted to do it on my own, like quit when I was ready to. Does any of that sound like it could be possible with your situation or with that experience?
Yes, it does. It really does. It really does.
So it's like we go from different places in our mind about the things like working, especially when you're an entrepreneur or a visionary. It's hard to, I know for me, it was hard to be creative and market my business and just feel like a successful entrepreneur when I'm thinking about, I don't have the money for the gas bill because I haven't sold enough of these products, and it's all on me. And so I went back and forth in my mind, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll just get a job that doesn't require so much from me, and that's when I re-entered the work field, and so maybe for you, the pattern was at some point you're like, this job is getting in the way. I really want to do something different with my life, with my time, and then the opportunity comes because your soul is speaking to God, the universe, and that's what he grabs, and he answers that prayer from that place, your deepest longing. And then when you felt like, okay, well, this is not working, I need some steady income, and then the door opened for another job. And then you probably found yourself in that position again, or that feeling again. I'm sorry about that. I have my grandson over here. And you went back to work. And then when you were there, you probably didn't feel like that anymore. And then, too, what I learned in my experience, so in my latest role here at Spectrum, I went in doing a certain role, customer service for internet and voice, and I knew that I wasn't going to quit my job again. I had become agitated with the job because I'm I have so much experience in education. It's like being on the phone, talking to people, that's not what I want to do. And so I started feeling that way of, this is not what I want to do. And what started happening was I started being talked to by my supervisor about performance. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not trying to go down the path of being let go or anything like that. That's not the experience that I'm wanting to create for myself. I want to get out of this position but stay with the company. And so I'm sharing that to say that you have to be clear on what it is that you want, and know that what you want you can have. So if you want a job that's, let's say, part-time, that allows you still that flexibility and freedom to do your entrepreneur, in the other hours, I don't want to say in your spare time, but, focus more on your entrepreneur, your businesses, then ask God for that, something that will allow you to make ends meet but don't stress you. And it's just an opportunity for you to get more clear and specific, So at Spectrum, when I was in that position of internet and voice repair, I started feeling like, this, I don't want to do this. I've done customer service. I want to do something different. And so instead of being frustrated and feeling like, oh, I just have to settle, or, I can't have what I want, or being upset, I took it as, okay, you need to be clear about what it is that you want to do. What do you want to do in this company? You're not going to leave right now, so what do you want to do? And I wrote out exactly what I wanted as far as pay, the hours, the flexibility, all of that. And I am doing what I want to do. I'm now the learning and development writer, a writer at Spectrum. The income superseded what I asked for. Monday through Friday, perfect schedule. Holidays off. I don't have, so it's an opportunity for you to get clear. So that's the pattern that you're seeing. It's like and it's not to say you can't change your mind or tweak it a bit or anything like that, but you're at a place now where you can say, okay, be quiet, y'all. I'm sorry about that. This is what I really want. This is what I desire, and I'm open to receive it however you bring it to me. And you will be surprised at how God orchestrates things on our behalf, So that's what I hear as far as the pattern. It's time for you to get crystal clear about what you want right now. Doesn't mean you can't change your mind later down the road, but when you do start to feel that angst and that anxiousness, some of the things that I asked myself when I started feeling that way in the customer service role was, how can what I'm doing serve me with Dare to Dream? How can it help me grow and be a stronger, more proficient, efficient person? How can I benefit from this? And I started looking at it from that aspect, the discipline that I gained and the ability to expand my knowledge and other things that came to me. But how can I be more clear about what it is I desire from God? So what do you think about that?
I think you're right on point, honestly, because the job that I was there for 15 years, I always wanted to go back to school and get my degree. I've always wanted that the entire time that I was there. So once I was released from that job, I did go back and I got my my MBA. So I started from my associates and went to my MBA. So, and then the next one, let's see. But it just sounds like I was not clear with my thought process. It was like, I want to do the entrepreneurship because I know that's the way to go, and I know that that's the way that I will make some money. But then I wanted to keep a job to hold me over until I can get to a point where I can release it.
Right. Where the income is matching or exceeding, what you're bringing in from a corporate job. Yep.
Yes. Yes.
I get it, and that's not uncommon. That's where I'm at. And so when those feelings of, oh, I wish I could just be spending my time creating content for this or writing my blogs or doing this, I look at the fact that I have the flexibility on my job, where if I wanted to take a few, an hour or so, or just sit at my desk and do some writing, there's no one micromanaging me. So I look inside of my life and see how I am able to be what it is that I desire to be. I look and see where it's showing up just a little, because when you focus on that as opposed to what isn't, then it sends you to a different place mentally, and it's hard to be hopeful. It's hard to have faith when you go down that path. And so, yeah. I'm glad that supported you. I certainly do understand. Like, I've been there, and I had just asked someone this question about patterns, asking the Lord about patterns of emotion, that I kept feeling a little torn with regards to my grandson. So my daughter had him when she was a teenager, and give me one second. And so, she didn't have any resources to support him or herself or anything like that. And then as she's growing, she's still kind of like behind. And so I said, at first I was like, well, I just want to get him and take him and parent him. But then I have my own little person. And so I felt conflicted because it's like I want him to have this certain life, but I just can't do it, So I would go back and forth in my mind. I can't do it as far as taking him and rearing him at this time in my life, just having two children, And so I finally was able to settle on I would just be a constant for him. He will come over often. I'll make sure he get his hair cut. We spend time together. But he's going to live with his mother, and I would go back and forth about that emotionally. And a lot of times things be attached to what I found for myself, attached to what we didn't get, what we feel that we missed out on, and we make it bigger for other people, and think that that's what's going on for them. But God knows what's best for him and who his mother is, who he chose to be his mom, and God's going to take care of him. I don't have to step up and be God, but I can be a very consistent, loving grandmother,
I have another pattern, and that is, it was many years ago that I have a sister that decided that she didn't want to take care of her children. And so I took her children in, and then all of a sudden my other sisters took one daughter because she had 4 daughters, and I kept one. And that was her senior year, and she blossomed and she excelled. She did well, and she's doing well, extremely well now. Really, I took her in, and so just here recently, this has happened again, where my niece, I had to take in my great niece. And so I'm doing that process over again. And I feel like this is a joke that I made to my family, is that like on War Room, the lady, you remember that movie War Room? And the lady, the older woman, after Priscilla and her husband, they reconciled, things were working out for the family. And so she went back to the house and told the woman everything was well. And then the lady went to the room and she prayed. She said, God, send me another one. Send me another one. And so I told them, I said, I didn't ask God to send me another one. But I now this one, she's a senior as well. So I'm going to have her through her senior year. So I'm mentoring her, so that's a cycle.
So the work that you do, through your business, what is that work?
The one I was talking to you about?
Yeah, the one, your nonprofit, and just the things that you want to launch and start doing.
Oh, the nonprofit is called just random acts of kindness, just helping people, helping whatever I can, and just that's called random acts of kindness, just being kind for no reason, just helping somebody out, just random people. And then the one that I am really pursuing is a business with nutritional supplements, and the company is called Isogenics.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it promotes like your good health, physical
health and wellness.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So with the random acts of kindness, have you ever thought that there's a correlation between that and you taking your nieces in? And that it's playing out in your life in that way, and it's not so much a pattern, but it's just your calling being manifested through you and showing up in your life in that way, in one area, not saying that that's the only way. But have you ever thought about it from that perspective?
I've never, no.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of times, and what I've learned is we are doing our soul calling, our work. We're already doing it, but because it's like second nature, sometimes we don't make the connection between it and what we say we want to do, for the masses or globally, things like that. But, yeah, it starts our ministry, our bigger works, they start on smaller levels with our families a lot of times, or people that are close to us that can truly benefit from it. So I would say to you that that's just firsthand experience with your random acts of kindness, non-for-profit, because it's a random act. You didn't have to do it. You chose to do it for her, and it's your heart's joy,
And you know what? I love doing it. I love mentoring my nieces.
Yep.
I really do. I enjoy it.
And so you called it to you, you called it to you. And if we slow down a bit, like we can really trace back, even though our minds has always got this chatter going on, we can really trace back, some prayers and some feelings, some longings that we've had that produced some experiences that we are experiencing. If we just slow down and we ask those questions, how did this come about? What made this surface now, God? And God will take our minds back to when we initially asked for it, or where we were and what we were feeling, to summon that thing to come to us.
Interesting.
Yeah, it really is. Everything in our life is connected, not just because of us, but it just is. It's like they are all pieces of a puzzle, and we just put the puzzle together. But, just like I would say with me and my husband, we are both leaders. We're both headstrong, and we needed balance because we had been separated like 4 times. And even though I was working to be more submissive, there were underlying things that didn't allow me to be fully submissive, but God knew that we needed balance. We needed something that was going to be neutral, that would balance us both out. And at the oddest time, we had suffered like 3 miscarriages, and we both were at the point where we was just like, nope, we're older. Let's let our love and our marriage be our baby. Let's cultivate that. We had children when we were younger. Let's travel. Let's just, have fun. And we had separated. Something happened. We had separated, and during that separation, found out that we were expectant. In earlier conversation, we both said that we didn't want, if we did have a child, we did not want that child to be going between my house and his house. We want to raise them together because I had been divorced and he had children with other women that he didn't stay with. And so we did agree that we wanted to rear our child together. And so that brought us back together. Even though we had things that we had to work out, it brought us back together. And Samantha, she is truly a balance keeper. She keeps the balance. She helps him to grow as a man, as a father, and work through things. And so sometimes we don't know what we're asking for, but God gives us what's for our best and highest good, and I just believe that just with all my heart. I do.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So anything else I can answer for you or support you with tonight? You have all of me. No one else signed up, so you get all the time that you want.
Oh, wow. Okay. Whenever I do like different mentoring sessions and webinars and things like that, I have a problem with completing them. Yours really is the first one that I have been consistent with. I will start them, but I won't complete them. It's just like, because my schedule, I have so much going on in my life that I cannot complete them. And I really want to stop that and start completing things. So I'm really, forcing myself making myself stay with Daring Daughters. I see your assignments that you post up and everything, and I try to, it's like a push to get them done, but I'm like, I want to do this. I'm tired of not signing up for stuff and then don't complete it.
Right.
What is that? What's going on with that?
So a lot of times, like I know for myself personally, when people have these really good opt-ins, that product or that tool or that template that they're offering at that time, I want it. And so I'll sign up, to get that, and then I will forget to take them off. I'll forget to take myself off of their list, because, even though they're talking about things that could really help me, I don't need it right now. I just wanted that one thing. So the first thing is you might want to look at all the things that you sign up for and ask yourself, is this the season for this right now? Do I really have the time capacity, the energy capacity, the resources to devote to this? Is this going to become one other thing that I didn't finish? And you have to ask that at the beginning as opposed to getting in the middle or to the end, or further along and then put it on your list of another thing you didn't complete. Our society is a society that just keeps us going. Like, we're very informational, and it's appealing to have a lot of information, but you have to, I will offer you this discipline. You asking that question that I just presented to you is going to help you be more disciplined. Is this the season for it? Is it something that I need to put on hold? And then pause it, before you make that decision to sign up for a webinar or teleseminar, and just look, I taught a live to you all a couple of weeks ago where I talked about, giving yourself time. And I talked about when someone asks you to do something for them or to give yourself time before you answer them, if it's 20 minutes, 24 hours. And that's what I would offer to you for these webinars and teleseminars. Like, really ask yourself, is this information that I already have? Like, do an inventory of why you want to start it. What's the benefit or the value it's going to bring, and if you're going to stay committed to it. Like, your body will signal if you're going to stay committed to it. Your mind will signal. You'll know if you're going to stay committed to it. And it's just about being honest at the forefront as opposed to starting it and then with the hopes of, okay, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to make sure I complete this to the end. Less is more. Less is more. And so I would just say skim through your who you're the people the webinars that you are trying to attend. And if it's something that is just not the season for right now, you may want to create an email folder where you can put all their emails in. If you don't want to delete them, sometimes we have a hard time letting things go, so you can put them in an email folder and just have them go to that folder or transfer them to that folder. And then when it's time, you'll know, and then you'll have the information there. But then, too, I would also say just pick one or two, as much as you can handle, communities or places that you are going to stay committed to and stick with it. Like everything else, you just make the decision. So you have to make a decision. When you don't make a decision, it's just like there and it's irritating you. It's like clutter. It's just there. If you don't make a decision of what to do with it, then it's just going to stay there and annoy you. So you have to just make a decision, what you're going to do it, and stick with your decision. And then all the guilt or, I might need this, and, all those things, they'll surface. So being proactive, okay, well, I might need some of what they're saying, comes with making the folder, or putting a system in place where you say, okay, well, this month I'm going to do this teleseminar. Like, you may not be able to come to everything that I'm offering because you may want to attend something else. So you choose one per month that you're going to attend to and be committed to doing that work, and you have a whole month to do what's required so that you can feel accomplished and like you stuck to what you said you were going to do. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. It really boils down to just like making decisions. Like sometimes we just don't want to, and we feel like we're going to miss out on something if we don't. I had this subscription, which I love this coach. She was dynamite. I've always wanted to work with her. I don't know if you ever heard of her, Christine Kane. I bought some of her products, and she's a dynamite coach. And once I bought this one product that was like $500, I got an offer to be a part of her Facebook community and join this online learning community, and it was only $47 a month. So I was like, okay, that's doable. I was in two coaching programs. One was $397 a month, and the other was $47 a month. And so I knew I couldn't even get out of the contract of the $397 one, and I didn't want to because that coach, Mia Redrick, she was offering me a lot of value, training me on how to create products and things like that. I showed up. I was committed. And so I didn't have a commitment to Christine's program, but I found the content to be very valuable. It helped me with a lot of foundational stuff for my business. And I remember June or July, I hadn't been on the site. I hadn't completed any of the trainings, and I didn't have time to do it. And I remember I wasn't ready to make the decision. It was like, you're not using this, but you're paying this almost $50 a month that could be allocated somewhere else. But I wasn't ready to make the decision to stop doing it, stop paying the money, because I still wanted access. If I wanted to go online, I still wanted to be able to access it. So another month went by, and I had to sit down and have a conversation with myself. This money can be used for something else. You're not going, and you're not going to start going just because you're paying that money, because you have so much going on. And I just had to have a real candid conversation with myself, and I made the decision that I would stop the payments. And I'm okay with that, because I felt like I got a lot of great value. The course that I purchased, I still have access to it, and now I get to keep $47 in my pocket or allocate it somewhere else, But had I not made that decision, the $47 over 6 months, that's like almost $300, I think, just going down the drain that could have went somewhere else, So you just have to step up, look, assess things, and make a decision.
Yes.
And just stick with it.
Thank you. This is very helpful. Very helpful.
Good. I love to hear that. That's my heart's desire, to support my sisters, so that we can gleam and glow like God created us to do.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. I'm proud of you for showing up, for yourself and for your life and your vision. And I would say just keep doing that. I'm here to support you however I can. I do have some products that I'll be rolling out that I believe will support our community. Just continue to pray for me, because sometimes it does get a little discouraging when you're pouring out so much and the community. I don't take it personal, but, you could just see how people can truly benefit from things and they don't show up. And then sometimes it can make me feel like, well, God, I'm doing all this work and where's the results, but our seeds don't sprout up overnight. So I just got to continue to keep going forward and trust that God is bringing to me the people that will really show up and, participate more.
But, what you said is similar to what I do as an entrepreneur with the nutritional supplements. When I tell people about them and how it works and all that, and then it seems like they're like on board, but then when it's time to actually to get into the program or purchase the product, which you get your money back anyway, it's a no. But I have came to the conclusion that I have planted the seed.
Yeah.
And I planted the seed, and that's all I can do is plant the seed. And eventually, like when you plant anything, eventually it does grow. Because it's planted, and it is going to grow. Those people will come back. They will start posting on Facebook. They will purchase the supplements. I just say the seed has been planted, and I walk away. Knowing that I've done my best, and that's what. Yeah. Maybe that's why I continue to listen to you, because no matter what the book, you still give your all. Even if you are talking to yourself, you talk like you got a room full of folks listening to you. And I'm like, this is really good here.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for doing that. Yeah.
So much, girl. I've come a long way. I remember my first coach, she I was shocked when she said it because how she acted, but she was like, you don't think I scheduled a teleseminar and nobody showed up? Yeah, we've all been through that. She said, but you know what I do? I start recording and I start talking like it's a room full of people. And and I just said, oh, okay, that's what I'll start doing. And then, you just use it and share it with other people and just keep going, share it with your email list and all of that. And so I am encouraged. I do believe that the vision that God has given me, it is going to start manifesting in a way that I truly desire and feel would be successful. I feel like it's successful now, the fact that I show up and I'm not moved by who doesn't show up. I just do what God has called me to do, and I enjoy doing it. Like I really enjoy doing it, and I know that we can, just looking at my life and just all the ups and downs and swift transitions and all of that, that we can create a life that we look forward to waking up to, and sometimes we don't have all the answers, and to have someone there that can guide us, support us, pray for us, and teach us things, new ways of thinking and looking at things, that's helpful, so I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm going to continue to pray for you, and that God will open up doors and just help you to grow in the way that you desire, that your desires will come to fruition.
Thank you. I will do the same for you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. You're welcome. It's been my pleasure. And if you don't mind sharing, just your thoughts and your feedback about tonight's call on the link in the group, tell them they missed it. Y'all missed it.
Yes.
He was answering questions, and, man, So.
And I probably stood up there, and I'm glad you wasn't there because I had all to myself.
Right. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll have your shirt in maybe about a week. I spoke to the guy today, and then once I get it, then we'll figure out how to connect so I can get it to you.
Okay. That sounds great.
All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your night, Miss Linder, and thank you again for coming online with me.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right. Bye-bye.